Hello everybody and welcome to another D&D discussion video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about everything that is different with the 2014 core rules and the 2024 core rules. Now 2024 game rules came out sometime late last year and it's been kind of the big topic nowadays. It's a little different than 2014. It's the same thing, but just like revised, revamped, changed a little bit. It's a lot of people are calling it 5.5e or the 5.5 edition. And so I'm gonna detail everything that's different so that you guys know what all has changed. Now here, I'm gonna be reading the D&D Beyond post about it so that I can kind of stay on topic and see exactly what is different with 2024. Now the first thing that we're gonna be talking about today is the classes. Now they have changed and revamped all of the classes to be a little bit different. They're supposed to be more balanced. I can talk more about my opinion on some of them later, but here we are. We have new subclass names. They've changed the names of some of the subclasses. I don't know why exactly, maybe to better encapsulate what they are, but they've changed some of the names. It's like, for instance, Barbarian, you have Path of the Totem Warrior is now Path of the Wild Heart. And then they've changed Monks to be Warrior of blank. And then they changed Sorcerer ones to be blank Sorcery. Warlock ones to be blank Patron, and then Wizard ones to, instead of being School of blank, it's just the person, so like Abjurer, Diviner, Evoker, Illusionist. Moving on to the first class, we have Barbarian. They've added quite a few new things for Barbarian. So they've revised Rage. They have this new thing for classes that is called Weapon Master. So any martial class that you have in D&D in the 2024 edition now has this thing called Weapon Master. And basically that has it to where you can have kind of like a weapon mastery ability. So under any martial class, they'll have a section called Weapon Mastery. You get it at level 1, and basically what it says is that you can use the mastery properties of two kinds of simple or martial melee weapons of your choice, such as great axes and hand axes. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can practice weapon drills and change one of those weapon choices. So you're not locked into what kind of weapon choice you choose, what kind of mastery properties you have. You can always change it on a long rest, but basically what this means is that you get two mastery properties that you can use per long rest, and you can change them any long rest. So if you get a new weapon that you don't have the mastery property for, then you can just, on your next long rest, you can just get that one. You can trade it out with something else. And then with the levels, you can increase how many of these weapon masteries you have, one of these mastery properties that you have. So up here, if you look at the Barbarian class features chart, you see weapon mastery over here, this column, it increases as you increase in level. So it goes from 2 to 4 at higher levels. As far as the mastery properties go, there are a few different mastery properties that you can look at. Each weapon has a different mastery property. So if I look up here at the weapons, you'll see these, like martial weapons. They'll have like the battle axe. You follow it over, and then the mastery property is topple. So every single one has a different one. See how flail has sap, glaive has graze, great axe has cleave. So they all have different weapon masteries. And so that's where you have to look at what weapons do you have so that you can take those weapon masteries. And these mastery properties can do additional things. It's kind of to help martial characters have a little bit more flavor and utility in combat instead of just like, oh, I hit him with my short sword, you know. It's just gonna be a little bit extra flavor and a little bit extra buffs with it. So here, yeah, you have the properties for cleave, graze, nick, push, sap, slow, topple, and vex. And they're all different here. You can read them on your own time, but basically there's a lot of them that like for instance, like push, you can push them 10 feet away from you if they're large or smaller, and yada yada yada. So there's a bunch of different weapon masteries that are new, and so all of the martial classes will get those weapon mastery properties. So classes like barbarians, fighters, paladins, rangers, and rogues will get this weapon mastery feature. So you just gotta look out for it and see how many that you have for your level. So you see here, there's a bunch of revised and new things that they have for Barbarian. Something else new they have for every class though is Epic Boon. So every class at level 19, you get an Epic Boon. So Epic Boons existed in the 2024 core rules, but they were only given to level 20 characters when they did something so amazing and basically a huge feat, like destroying a mysterious artifact that's super powerful, or killing like a very high level dragon or a lich or something like that. It was only given at the DM's discretion to players if they did something heroic. Now, however, they are at level 19. Every class gets an epic boon of their choice. They have suggested epic boons for each class that you can choose if you don't want to like think about it too hard. But these epic boons affect your ability scores and give you something that you can really use in a really effective way. Basically, it just makes your character so much stronger. So every class gets this epic boon, and so that's something that they have added new to 2024, is that just everybody, no matter what happens, you get an epic boon. Another thing they've changed with the classes too is that every single class, no matter what class it is, has 4 possible subclasses, and they all get the subclasses at level 3. So all of these 4 subclasses, they have been revised, they've been changed to be balanced. They've added a bunch of new ones too. But like I said, every single class gets it at level 3. So Barbarian subclasses, you have the Path of Berserker, which has 3 revised features, Path of Wildheart, 3 revised features, Path of the World Tree, which is a new path that they have. You get 4 new features because it's a whole new subclass. Path of the Zealot, which has 1 new feature and 3 revised features. Now on to Bard. Bard does not seem to be very different at all. They just says revised starting equipment, revised weapon proficiencies, revised spell list because they've added new spells and balanced some spells. And they have 2 new class features and 7 revised class features. So there's not a whole lot different, they've just revised it. There's not a whole lot of new things. And even the new things is just the Epic Boon and the Words of Creation, which sounds kind of cool. For the subclass, they have College of Dance, which is a completely new subclass. It has 4 new features. College of Glamour, which has 1 new feature, 3 revised features. College of Lore has 3 revised features, and College of Valor has 2 revised features. Now on to Cleric. Now I'm very sad about Cleric because, like I said before, every class has only 4 subclasses, which means the domains for the Clerics has been greatly reduced. And they don't have some of the really good domains like Tempest Domain, and they've chose to keep in Trickery Domain, and I really don't like Trickery Domain. If you've seen my Baldur's Gate reviews and all that kind of stuff, I do not like the Trickery Domain at all. So I hope that it's honestly better in the 2024 edition. Let's just hope that. But here you see how it's kind of been a little affected here. They have 6 new class features and 4 revised class features. So then, yeah, in the Clerics, they have subclass changes. They have 3 revised features for Life Domain. They have Light Domain, 5 revised features. Trickery Domain is 1 new feature and 4 revised features. Like I said, let's hope they're good. And then War Domain has 5 revised features. So they've done a lot of work on Clerics, and I honestly have not looked too much into the Cleric specifically, so we'll see how good it is. And then there's Druid. There's been a lot of work to Druids as well. As you see here, there's 6 new class features and 6 revised class features. Unfortunately, my least favorite part about this is that they've changed how Wild Shape works. They have severely nerfed Wild Shape, and I am unhappy about it. So now they have it to where you retain your hit points, and you just gain temporary hit points instead of just taking on the animals or the beasts' hit points, and then when it gets down to 0, going back to your hit points. They just have you gain temporary hit points instead. And so I don't like that because it's like, well, why even be a wild shape if you just get temporary hit points, in my opinion. So that's kind of a bad thing, in my opinion, with Druid, is it makes me not want to do wild shape. So, take that with what you will. Some people might enjoy that, but I don't like it. And then for the subclasses, they have Circle of the Land with 1 new feature and 4 revised features. Circle of the Moon with 4 new features and 1 revised feature. Like I said, since Circle of the Moon really relies on wild shape, they've definitely changed that a bunch, and so we'll see how that goes. They have a new subclass, Circle of the Sea, with 5 new features, and I've looked at it too a little bit, and it does seem kind of interesting. And then there's Circle of the Stars with only one revised feature, so they really didn't change Circle of the Stars that much, which is nice to know, because I really enjoy Circle of the Stars. And then there's Fighter. They seem to change Fighter a lot as well, with 6 new class features and 3 revised class features. So there's a bunch of new stuff there. And for the subclasses, they have Battle Master with 3 revised features, 4 new maneuvers, and 5 revised maneuvers. So they've done a lot of work with Battle Master, it looks like. Champion with 1 new feature and 3 revised features, Eldritch Knight with 2 revised features, and Psy Warrior with 1 revised feature. So Psy Warrior seems like it's pretty much the same thing. And then Monk, I've seen a lot of people say that Monk has like been completely revamped and now it's like a good class, and honestly, in my opinion, it was already a good class. So we'll see how this new better class works. You know, I already liked Monk before, so now I kind of want to see how it is now. As you can see, it says 7 new class features and 8 revised class features, so a lot of work has been done to this. And they've changed a lot of the names on them too, so a lot of stuff is similarly named, or like differently named and everything. So, but yeah, they've done a lot of work for Monk. And then for the Monk subclasses, they have Warrior of Mercy with 1 revised feature, so they haven't really changed that at all. They have Warrior of Shadow with 1 new feature and 2 revised features. Warrior of the Elements with 5 new features, so they've like completely changed Warrior Way of the 4 elements, so they've completely changed that. Warrior of the Open Hand with 1 new feature and 3 revised features. Now on to Paladin. It looks like they've done a lot of work on Paladin as well, with 6 new class features and 6 revised class features. And something that I'm kind of interested to see into Paladin as well is it looks like there's a new feature called Faithful Steed, which I'm interested in, because if that means that you can just cast like Call Steed or something like that, then that'd be really cool. And then for the Paladin subclasses, for Oath of Devotion, you have 1 new feature and 4 revised features. Oath of Glory with 4 revised features, Oath of the Ancients for 4 revised features, and Oath of Vengeance with 3 revised features. So they've gotten a little bit of work on that. And then for Ranger, they included Ranger in the ones that they've done a lot of work to with Monk. So Monk and Ranger, they're saying that they've done a lot of work to make them good and make them better. Now, Ranger has always been one of those classes that it's like, well, they're all right. So I'm hoping to see some really good changes with Ranger. So as you can see, there's 8 new class features and 6 revised class features, so hopefully that's going to be good there. And then for the subclass changes, they have Beastmaster with 3 revised features, Bay Wanderer with 1 revised feature, so that doesn't seem to be different at all, Gloomstalker with 4 revised features, and a Hunter with 2 new features and 3 revised features. They've done a lot of work on Hunter. And then on to Rogue. It looks like they've done a decent amount of difference with Rogue, with 6 new class features and 5 revised class features. Although I don't know how they revised Thieves' Cant. I mean, it's just a language. And then for the subclass changes for that, they got Arcane Trickster with 3 revised features, Assassin with 1 new feature and 3 revised features, Soul Knife with 2 revised creatures, and Thief with 4 revised features. And then for Sorcerer, they seem to be doing a few different things with the Sorcerer. I mean, it says here they got 2 new meta magic options and 6 revised meta magic options, so that's pretty cool to see. I'm excited for that. Then they have 4 new class features and 5 revised class features, and they have a revised Wild Magic Surge table with new options, which thank God, because I hated the old Wild Magic Surge table, so let's hope that they did some really good things with it. And for subclasses, they have Aberrant Sorcery with 2 revised features, Clockwork Sorcery with 2 revised features, Draconic Sorcery with 2 new features and 3 revised features, and Wild Magic Sorcery with 1 new feature and 3 revised features. And now with Warlock, they have some pretty cool things with Warlock. They have 10 new Eldritch Invocations and 13 revised Eldritch Invocations. Now, my favorite thing about Warlocks is the Eldritch Invocations, so I'm really excited to hear about that, because I want to look through those Eldritch Invocations and those new ones, revised ones, and I want to see what they did with them. Hopefully they made them better, but we'll see. And then 3 new class features and 4 revised class features. And they've added a new feature too called Contact Patron, which I think is kind of cool, because you've never been able to do that before. You've never been able to like contact your patron, so that's really cool that they've added that. And then for subclasses, you have Archfey Patron with 2 new features and 3 revised features, Celestial Patron with 4 revised features, Fiend Patron with 5 revised features, and Great Old One Patron with 3 new features and 2 revised features. And with Wizard, I kind of hate what they did with Wizard. They've really cut back on the subclasses. Like I said, since every class has 4 subclasses, that means all of the Wizard subclasses, you only have 4 of them now. So you don't get some of the really cool ones like enchantment, necromancy. You don't get all those cool schools. So that's unfortunate with Wizard, but they get 4 new class features and 3 revised class features. They have a new one too, which I think is really cool, called Memorize Spell. So I'm excited to see what that is. And then for subclasses, they have Abjurer with 1 new feature and 3 revised features, Diviner with 2 revised features, and Evoker with 3 revised features, Illusionist with 2 new features and 2 revised features. All right, now anyway, going on from classes, because that was a lot of information and a lot of stuff, we have origins now. They have changed the origins, they've changed the backgrounds. They make it to where your ability score increases comes from your background instead of your species, and they've added a bunch of backgrounds as well. So for the 2024 Player's Handbook, it says they list 16 backgrounds and 10 species, and the new options they have for the backgrounds is Farmer, Guard, Guide, Merchant, Scribe, and Wayfarer. And then you got other backgrounds like Soldier and Sage, like all of those are still there. But these are the new ones that they have. They've added Common Sign Language as a language, which is kind of cool that they've included that. So you can play as a deaf character or something like that. And then they have they're not new species, but they're different species. They've added Azamar, Goliath, and Orc. And like I said, those are all different and balanced. And for feats, they've done feats differently too. It says they have 75 feats and 37 new feats and 35 revised feats. So feats now are organized into 4 categories. They have Origin, General, Fighting Style, and Epic Boon. So your Origin feats are those that come from your background. The general feats are ones that you pick up for ability score increases, or that feat that you can choose. Those are general feats. You have Fighting Style, which those are now lumped into the feats area. So instead of just being like, oh, you have like these fighting styles to pick from, they're considered feats now, which I think is kind of weird, but anyway. And then they have the Epic Boon feats, which you get that 19th level, and like I said earlier, those are just amazing feats that increase your ability scores, give you something really cool, and it spices up your character and your abilities more. For the equipment, they have made some changes to the equipment as well. They've revised 2 of the weapon properties, which is heavy and light. They've added those weapon mastery properties, like cleave, graze, nick, push, sap, slow, topple, vex. They've added 2 new weapons, and they've revised 3 weapons. They got crafting rules for non-magical items, potions of healing, and spell scrolls. You have new options for using all artisans tools when taking the utilize option, which the utilize option I looked up earlier is it's the do something. It's like the use action, kind of. You have revised adventuring gear, including 3 new items, and you have descriptions for all items of adventuring gear. Those are small changes here, and mainly with the weapon mastery properties. And then for spells, it says that it provides 391 spells, including 30 new spells. So there's a bunch of new spells that are really cool. I will say a lot of these spells, looking at them too, a lot of these spells are from other books like Xanathar's Guide to Everything and Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. So they're not all new, but they're new to the Player's Handbook. So like for instance, like Ice Knife, if I click Ice Knife, that's not a new one. So take these new spells with a grain of salt. The true new ones, like there's Elementalism, like that's actually new. There's just a lot of these new spells that they've added, and then they have a bunch of these redesigned spells that, are completely different, and they've just changed them. And then they have revised spells that are just been tweaked. So I'm not gonna go through all of these because there's a lot, as you can see. I mean, new spells, you got all of these, and yeah, so, oh man, the revised spell, there's so many revised spells, so you don't wanna, I'm not gonna go through all of that. And then as well, in the 2024 handbook, they have a bunch of stat blocks as well. Apparently they have 21 new stat blocks and 26 revised stat blocks, so that's kind of cool that they've added a bunch. And I've seen something that a lot of people really like about the 2024 handbook is that they've added a rules glossary. And so here you see there's like a bunch of new rules that they have in their glossary that explains it, so that way you don't have to like try and search for it. And then revised rules that they have in their glossary that again just says what it is, and you don't have to like worry about trying to find it somewhere in the book. They have a bunch of new terminology as well. A lot of this stuff is just small things, like armor proficiency to armor training. So it's not a whole lot of stuff. The only thing that I don't like about it though is some of these things is just stupid. Like for instance, I don't like how, like I feel like they're taking some of the flavor out of some of these terms. Like with the subclass terms, like barbarian subclasses used to be called primal path, which I think is cool. You know, it's flavor. They're all called path of blank. So primal path, I really liked it, but now they just call them barbarian subclass, and I'm like, that's kind of lame. The same thing with warlock. It used to be called otherworldly patron, and now it's just warlock subclass. Monk used to be monastic tradition, now it's a monk subclass. So I kind of don't like that they've changed some of those terms to be that. But some of these make actual sense and I like them better. Like for instance, there's the cast a spell action, they've changed it to a magic action. So I kind of like that, it's quicker. It's not just like, oh, cast a spell action. It's like, oh, you're taking a magic action because you're going magic, you know? But yeah, there's a bunch of these terms that have been changed. But then other than that, that's pretty much it. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever on the 2024 edition, you just feel free to ask me, type in the comments below, just ask any question you need and I will answer your questions. I know I didn't go fully in depth, but if I were to go fully in depth with everything there is, we would be here for like 3+ hours. So I'm not gonna go through everything. I do kind of want to create a series here soon where I go through all of the classes to make characters 1 through 20 and kind of go through everything. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. I'll probably do that as well. And I'll probably do it with the 2024 rules just so that everybody stays up to date on them. And that way, if you really want a class creation guide and you're like, I don't know how to make a level 20 character, then I'll go through that with you. I'll go through all of the things with that. That way it's not, you know, all of 12 classes are shoved into this one video. I can break it out and actually spend the time that I want to on each class. So stay tuned for that, and that will be coming out. But other than that, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something with this. If there's anything you guys want to know, let me know, and I can make a video on it, or I can ask or answer it in the comments. But anyway, that's it, and I hope to see you in my next video.